Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the fourth film in the Alien franchise. Alien Resurrection came out November 26th in the 1997. Takes place in the year 2379. So this is 200 years since Alien 3, right? When Ripley kills herself with the alien queen embryo, baby xenomorph, and the boiling thing of lead in the prison on this abandoned planet. Okay, so 200 years later, Ripley's back. And so are the xenomorphs. How, you might ask? Well, turns out that there was blood samples of Ripley at the prison, and when the scientists and people in charge of the company were clearing out, they took her DNA samples, and the DNA samples had both her samples as well as the Queen Xenomorph samples. So, 200 years of experiments, we now have the 8th vital version of Ripley, who is fused with some Xenomorph Queen in her. And she can sense Xenomorphs, and she's got, these green nails now, and, she can heal herself. She doesn't, if you stab her, nothing happens, right? So, and then the Queen herself, it has been growing, and she at first was growing to lay eggs to then create more xenomorphs, but then she herself has some human in her as well, so she can now reproduce without having to lay eggs to then have facehuggers put embryos in hosts to change a form for a host, right? So these xenomorphs now, still the egg xenomorphs, are human-esque because they had human hosts. In the third, we found a dog-like one because it had attached to a dog, so that makes sense in a host sense. And then at the very end of this, we have a human xenomorph hybrid who kills the Queen Xenomorph and finds Ripley as his mother, as their mother. I don't know the gender. And then the people who are trying to escape this new ship, not Sigourney Weaver, Winona Ryder, she plays Cal, who is a android in this particular thing. Ron Perlman is in this as well. So it's nice to have the three of them all, fight and work together at some point. But the emergency protocol of the ship's evacuation brings that ship back to Earth, back to its home base. So we're finally getting to Earth within this Alien franchise. Prior to this movie is 97, and then we had in 2004 Alien vs. Predator. So we are in Earth. And then other iterations of this take place at Earth, on Earth, and then in the future BC of Earth as well. But, so the ship crashes into South Africa, something like that, makes a massive explosion. And then the escape pod, where they then get the human xenomorph hybrid to explode through a little tiny bullet hole of space, that safely careens over the clouds, and everybody says how beautiful Earth is, that they've never been to Earth, that they've all been outlaws through space. So it was very interesting having Winona say to Ripley, Sigourney, oh, well, what are we going to do on Earth? And she's saying, I don't know, I've never been here before. And it's kind of like a little fun little throwaway, just because it's true. We've never actually had part of our story on Earth. The first movie took place specifically on the Nostromo ship. The second one we had on a spaceport towards, and then a colonized planet, not Earth. The third one we had on that prison, which was on a completely different planet, not Earth. And then the fourth, we crash land and careen over Earth. So this is the last in the timeline. So this was 2379. We have our story that goes back thousands and thousands of years. And the Predator series continues a lot within comics as well. I was reading up on, because in Predator 2, we see a pistol from 1715, but there's a whole comic line called Predator 1718, and kind of how he gets that pistol. So it's all canon, and it's pretty neat that you have this expanded universe within the Predator alien race and the Xenomorph alien race. But then you also have these other alien creators who we find out created humanity within this expanded universe. And we talk about that later on with Prometheus and whatever the hell the other one is. We'll get to it. So I think the next one now that we're going to talk about is Alien vs. Predator, which came out in 04. I remember seeing it in theaters. I was 14, my brother was 12. We had awesome action figures. I think NECA made them. I don't know where the hell they are, but yeah, those were fun. Those were fun toys. I do remember those. Yeah. Thus concludes our Alien Resurrection conversation. 1997, a good year for action films. Mahalo.